fundamental desire, this desire for freedom, comes from a desire to fully experience life. And that's what I want for men. I want to ignite that magnificence and that passion. Lean in. There's so much to experience. It's just remembering and having the guidance and the tools, to really experience your marriage, experience your children, your grandchildren, and experience your purpose and impact in the world. Yeah, what happens is, as men, we're drawn to the traditional model of becoming good fathers, becoming good business owners and leaders. And slowly but surely we lose touch with ourselves. We forget who we really are. And whilst we provide well and we create impact in our communities, there's a point where that journey of success is completed, and because we've forgotten who we are, it's like, what's next? Is this it? And when I meet men, when I meet clients, I see the essence of who they are. I see the beautiful men that they are. I see their magnificence, their little boys that want to come out and play. And I reflect back the possibility of them remembering that. If you think about the three key responses, we either react, distract, or repress. And a lot of men just repress. They repress their emotions, they repress their true selves. It's literally living a quiet life of desperation. They become more isolated, more lonely, less connection with friends, with community. Everything becomes very functional. Part of that often is some men will distract themselves. If you think about, the midlife crisis, they'll look for freedom somewhere else. It'll be a new car, it'll be a new surf trip, it'll be a new partner, something like that. They're running away from the feeling. And then the reaction is some men get bitter and angry. They're the guys that sit at the pub, drowning their sorrows, angry with the world, angry with women. And these are the types of strategies that often occur. And the men I work with predominantly, because they're typically good men and they want to do the right thing, typically they sit in that place of repression. It's like, I'm going through the motions. My child's now going to university. My wife's now wanting to reignite her career. I'm going to be the good guy. I hate my job. I'm not looking after myself physically, yet I'm just going to go through the motions because that's what you do, isn't it? Well, this epidemic of loneliness, it's often when I work with high achievers, it's not that I'm alone. I have lots of people in my business, in my life, but I feel lonely. And so this repression is we start to shut down. We shut down our emotional experience. We shut down our relational experience. We lose the juice. We lose the passion. We lose the connection. And again, it's just a slow, quiet regression into a place of isolation, loneliness, and as I say, sometimes bitterness and regret. So often, why hasn't society taught us this? Why don't we hear more about this? And if you look at it generationally, particularly for the Anglo culture, so a lot of our fathers and grandfathers went to war. If you think, I work a lot in Europe, and a lot of the fathers and grandfathers of my clients went to war, and essentially the message they were given when they came out of war is stiff upper lip, don't show weakness, don't show vulnerability. They've been in a very intense situation. And of course, that's the parenting style. So if you think about your father, think about your grandfather, often they weren't very emotionally available. They provided, but often they were quite withdrawn. And so that's the model, that's the generational model. Now what happened is we've seen a swing in that where a lot of young men got lost. So if I think about my sons who are in their 40s, some of them went, okay, well, I don't want that model. I've got to move more into my feminine energy. I've got to move more into my heart space. But what they've done is lost the ability to provide, lost the ability to hold their masculine energy. And so culturally, we just don't have role models, teachings, awareness. We're literally not that far off the Second World War. And again, we've still got complications in the world at the moment. Well, traditional cultures, and I love the work of Joseph Campbell and the hero's journey. Yeah, because all his studies around traditional cultures, the myth of the hero's journey, yep, this whole quest for purpose and meaning, you know, fundamentally what he discerned as a psychologist and an anthropologist was that the meaning of life is to fully experience it. And the men I work with aren't. They're not fully experiencing life. They've lost their juice. They've lost their mojo. Their relationships are becoming more like friendships than passion. Their parenting becomes very much about performance and providing instead of intimacy and play. And so if we really think about this journey we're on as men, our fundamental desire, this desire for freedom, comes from a desire to fully experience life. And that's what I want for men. I want to ignite that magnificence and that passion. Lean in. There's so much to experience. It's just remembering and having the guidance and the tools, yeah, to really experience your marriage, experience your children, your grandchildren, and experience your purpose and impact in the world. You know, if you look at the mythology of the hero's journey, it's a return to innocence. So when I play with my grandchildren and my grandsons on the beach, I'm just a 7-year-old again. And as a 7-year-old, it's innocence, it's play, it's wonder. Yeah, it's not thinking of the future or the past. I'm in this moment, building a sandcastle, riding a surfboard. Yeah, and when I bring that to my marriage, to my parenting, Amala feels seen, she feels held, she feels witnessed. Yeah, because I'm present and I'm in the moment with curiosity, with beginner's mind. That's what it feels like to fully experience life. Often I'm asked, what does a true freedom life feel like and look like? And what are some of the tips, some of the things that I can do tomorrow that are going to help me? And for men in this Western world, what I know is one of the key things is we've got to slow the busy mind down. We've got to cultivate. Part of what I teach is how to slow the mind down and get more present. It's essential, and it's literally 3 or 5 minutes a day. These simple techniques, which I've learnt from ancient traditions, can help you slow the mind down. When you slow the mind down, you realise how distracted we are, how much we live in the future and the past. So that's one of the key things. The other key thing is to really start to notice, how am I showing up in my relationship and with my children? What man am I being? To take that moment to just reflect and go, is this the version of myself that I really want? Or is this a version that's on autopilot, that's caught up with the cultural story? Yeah. And once you start to notice that, the third key thing is to really spend some time, particularly in nature, to reconnect with yourself. Because as men, we've lost touch with ourselves. We've got caught up in our identity as fathers, business owners, husbands. Yeah, but that's not who you are. The essence of who you are reveals itself when we get still, when we get quiet, when we go into nature. And when you taste and touch that, when you remember that, yeah, then you can start to build and cultivate a life of true freedom. Yeah, often I'm asked, yeah, how can I implement this? Yeah, what could I do? And the thing I want you to know is that change comes from inspiration or desperation. My hope for you is to be inspired, to feel that part of you that may have resonated with something you've heard. Because change from desperation, yeah, when we get brought to our knees, relationships, health, finances, yeah, it's the valley of despair. And so if you can be inspired, if you felt something in this video, then please, today or tomorrow, what is one thing you could do? Maybe just pause before you talk to your children. Maybe just journal write a little bit about the young man that you were and who you are now. Maybe just find a few minutes in silence. Something simple. And then ultimately, once you lean in, it's about finding the community that's going to support you. As men, the lone wolf model doesn't work. Again, we've watched the Marvel movies where it's some hero doing it on his own, yet that's not the truth. In traditional cultures, if you're a man listening to this, we did this in community, we did this in tribe. Yeah? You are the sum of the 5 closest people to you. So notice, who are the friends, who are the men I hang with? Yeah, what's their energy? Are they victims? Are they blaming the world? Or are they empowered? Are they creating the world? Yeah, and start to be honest with yourself. Who are the men I want to hang with? Yeah, and if they're not readily available, reach out, inquire. Where is my tribe? Where is my community that's going to uplift me on this journey? If this message resonates with you, then in the notes, yeah, there's a very short link to a longer video that I've done, just to give you an idea of what it's like to move from this place of disconnection to connection, from succeeding to true freedom. So please click the link, enjoy the video. My passion is to support you to really lean into this journey.